Alright, we're going to go through when to use your defensive cooldowns in Necrotic Wake. This is going to be from the perspective of an assassination rogue, but it's going to apply to every class. First pull in Necrotic Wake has gotten pretty dangerous, even in PUGs. You're going to have a Harvester every time, and you're going to have a Gatekeeper every time for the most part. You'll also be Lusting. But what it means is you want to be using your big defensive, not a little defensive, going into the pull. And that's because, one, the Gatekeeper does this huge AoE, does a lot of damage, and the Harvester does a Throw Flesh, which is going to hit you for about 50% of your health every time it hits you. So if you get unlucky and you get hit by a couple of those, you're down bad. This group decided to pull 2 Harvesters, which is kind of crazy. I've never really seen a PUG do that. So obviously this is super dangerous. As you can see here, we already lost one of our allies. He hit both of his offensive buttons, but he didn't hit his defensive cooldown. So again, if he had hit Astral Shift going into that pull, he might have lived and would have gotten at least a little bit of value. So I popped Evasion at the start of the pull. As soon as that falls off, well, I'm kind of bad, but as soon as that falls off, I'm going to go into a Feint and hopefully a Cloak of Shadows. So yeah, there goes Cloak and Feint. Probably should have hit those sooner. Healer's Spirit Linking, that's really good on him. Again, this is a PUG group, so like we're not coordinating defensives, right? So you got to look out for yourself. So that's what we're going to do. Other than that, this pull, the Throw Flashes are dangerous. Try to CC them. Kidney shots are really good. Blinds, AoE stuns, things like that. But yeah, just hit your buttons for that pull. All right, the next thing I want to look at before we go into the boss is I wanted to talk about this website called Not Even Close. So I did this where I simulated it at 619 eye level, and it's an 11 key. So I plugged in, I equipped some greens on my rogue to try and get it to 619 eye level to kind of be like, all right, when would things actually be dangerous? Because at 630 eye level, things kind of change. Anyways, first boss, the ability we got to worry about is Heaving Wretch, because as you can see on an 11 with 620 eye level, we will be mega dead if we don't hit a button on this. So we either need to hit Feint or Cloak of Shadows. Evasion's not going to do anything because the spell's AoE magic. So as long as we hit Feint or Cloak of Shadows, we're going to be just fine. I didn't get targeted with it in this dungeon, so just so we can see what it looks like. Here's Heaving Wretch. As you can see, it's going to put a little green arrow over your head, and you have to get out of the group, and everybody in the group should be avoiding you. So we're just going to run away from this guy while he has Heaving Wretch active. And he gets spit on. That guy obviously hit a button, took no damage. But yeah, that's it. It's kind of rinse and repeat. There's going to be some Heaving Wretches. If you get hit by multiple, you're kind of dead. The next ability to talk about is Grim Fate. Well, it won't kill you. It'll get you pretty darn close. So again, this is AoE magic, which means we're either going to hit Feint or Evasion. This is cast by the little, I don't know what those guys' names are, but you'll get this green circle on you. You got to take it out of the group because it explodes and damages everyone around you. You can see here, I hit Evasion, I hit Feint, and I hit Crimson Vial. So pretty much hit every button I could, minus Cloak of Shadows. And then, yeah, after that, the other thing to call out on this pull is Gruesome Cleave. I assume all of you know about this already because you've probably died to it. But basically, you just don't want to stand in front of that because it's an instant death if you get hit on any meaningful key level. That's pretty much it. The next thing to call out is on the next boss. There's not too much to point out here. It's just 2 mages are going to spawn in every group, and they're going to cast Frostbolt Volley. You got to kick those somehow, some way, whether you're using the orbs or a manual kick. The boss also does a Necrotic Breath, also a one-shot. I'm assuming you already know that, though, because you've also probably accidentally ran into it like I have. Next is Throw Cleaver. Talk about this real quick. This is just an arrow that gets aimed at you, and if it hits you, you're gonna die. But you can aim it into another enemy unit. So just look at that little red arrow. Make sure you're aiming at the bad guy. Also in the same room, before the boss is a mob that spews disease. Again, you can technically live this without hitting a button, but you would have 8,000 health left, which is comical. So we got to hit something. It's single target. It's magic. Cloak of Shadows is going to be your best bet here. But if you're running elusiveness, which I recommend over cheat death, you can just feint it, you can evasion it, and you'll still get some of the DR. So here's what Spew Disease looks like. It's going to go on my ally. Again, I didn't get hit by it this dungeon. So whoever it goes on needs to kind of get out of the group. But if your teammate's not getting out, you got to get out. So just make sure you're not standing in that circle. And that's it. I mean, that's all the mechanics in Necrotic Wake that are really going to kill you. Everything else is stuff you've seen or is like a very obvious swirly on the ground. Hopefully this is super short. Hopefully it was valuable. Hopefully you can start living your keys. Thanks for watching.